All right, what's happening? Hey, it's the 4 o'clock show. We're here with Ward Wrestling Live. Everybody, thank you for the support. Thanks for popping on and watching. Well, we have another amazing wrestling coach in our country. He's the head of the high school program in Iowa City High School. That was also his alma mater. He was a 3-time state placer there, a 1-time state champ. He was an NCAA national runner-up. And he's also been the coach for several years of the Iowa Cadet and Junior Freestyle teams. And he's here with us today, Coach Cory Connell. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's an absolute honor to meet you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm just happy to be on and help you out any way I can.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure and getting to meet a lot of people, and now kind of getting to meet different high school coaches around the country has been pretty cool as well. But I guess let's talk about what's going on right now. I know everybody's off season has kind of been affected. What have you done with your team and your wrestlers and the area club that you're involved in to kind of keep your kids motivated for the doors to open up?
Well, it's as you kind of know, it's just been a crazy spring and summer, and we haven't been able to do a lot. We haven't been able to have any contact with people until today. Is really the first day. So it's I've been telling them to make sure they're getting their workouts in on their own. We've had our kids club has been doing some Zoom workouts, and I've been working my 9-year-old son. I've been wrestling with him 3-4 days a week in our basement, and we have a little mat that we've been working out on. But we haven't been able to do as much. We're usually traveling around, going to freestyle and Greco tournaments all around the state, and going to Fargo, and it's just been a crazy year.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's probably got your same sentiment. So, well, it's good. As Iowa's starting to open back up a little bit. I know I had some girls on that are over about 40 minutes from you over at Grandview. And they said that little by little, you're starting to see some stuff start to open up again.
Yep. It's like I said, today was our first day we could have contact with them. We're starting to get up. Our school is opening up next Monday on July 6th. So we're trying to come up with a plan right now for weightlifting, for wrestling. And our high school team has been doing baseball and competing in that. So just trying to figure out how to get things safely going and get back going. I mean, get back to wrestling.
Yeah. So, you were off, you were coaching in other areas. You did your college thing, had a good, successful career. And then you decided to come back to your alma mater. I know they had been down for some years, and you have kind of resurrected that program over the last few years you've been there. Talk about your program at Iowa City High School right there in Iowa City, and what your culture and philosophy and what you think you brought back to this room to kind of get it back to where it was. I know you had a great, successful year. Tell us about it.
That's a lot right there. I came from, I was very lucky to come through high school and college and everything else, and have some great coaches, great mentors, and everything else. And, I went to Eddyville-Blakesburg and created a really good program there. And I was there for, I think, 6 years, got second in the state 1 year there, and had a really great team returning, but had a great opportunity to come back to my alma mater, where my family is, and where, just where we wanted to, kind of start a family, raise a family. And so moved back to Iowa City. And since then, we had a couple of years where we were pretty down, not very good. And we had a couple groups of kids that were, dedicated to wrestling and really started working hard and started putting in the time, started putting the effort all year round. And that's just, to me, it's a year-round wrestling, it's year-round lifting, it's year-round competing. And they started doing that more, started living the right lifestyle, doing the right things on the mat, off the mat. I was kind of, compare it to school as well. I think my first year I was a city high, our team GPA was like a 2.3, team GPA, where this last year we're over a 3.3 team GPA. So we've changed the culture within what you said, on the mat, off the mat, and that's made them more competitive on the mat.
That's awesome. And yeah, as the grades get up, as they tend to be more disciplined, good things started to happen. I know you guys have a pretty cool little website there, Little Hawk Wrestling. It talks all about you and your coaching staff and scheduling and things like that. So that was pretty neat. I kind of went through that. Now you have a club locally, the Mat Pack, that you kind of run with, right? And
Yeah, I kind of oversee it. I have some great coaches. I have Marcus Kurtz, who is kind of the head Mat Pack coach, who is, he coached at College for, I think, 18 years. And then I have my other coach here is Matt Eglund, who plays second in the nation at Iowa. So, I mean, I have some unbelievable Mat Pack coaches that my son works with, and just great program there. And I really, I oversee it. I'm there a lot, but I'm not, if I tried to run that as well, I think, I wouldn't be able to be as successful at high school, or, I'd probably get into divorce or something like that because of spending that much time on it. So.
Sure. Now, also, girls wrestling has grown and blossomed in Iowa, just like it has across the country. It's probably maybe it is the number one growing sport right now out there. I'm sure you're starting to see a lot of girls come through the club. You had mentioned you and another school had kind of shared a girls team. But how important is it for Iowa to jump on the bandwagon and get them sanctioned and get them rolling?
I think it's huge. I mean, obviously, as I've heard, good comparison is, women are 50% of the population. I mean, and wrestling has done a lot for me. Wrestling has done a lot for so many people in this world. Why limit that just to men? And I think it can do a lot for women. My daughter, who's 5, she's did some wrestling this last year and enjoyed it. I coached Megan Black at Eddyville-Blakesburg, who is the only women, girl displaced in the men's state tournament in the state of Iowa. And it was a great experience coaching her, and placing the state. And just now that's kind of, with a lot more women going into wrestling, it's, it's been a lot of fun watching women's wrestling grow and hopefully becoming sanctioned, and hopefully, across the nation, and, becoming, having University of Iowa having a program, everybody in college having programs to, support women's wrestling as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, I know you're highly involved in the Cadet and Freestyle Iowa program. So, talk about your junior program. I know you were at one point very involved with Iowa USA Wrestling, right? I'm not sure how involved you are now.
Yeah, every summer I coach on the, cadet and junior national team. I go up there to Fargo to help coach them. We have a week-long camp leading up to it, and I usually have some wrestlers from City High on it. And I love freestyle. I love Greco. I think it's something that improved me a lot as a wrestler, and I know what it's done for a lot of our wrestlers who've gone through and wrestled freestyle, wrestled Greco, and how much they've improved from the competition, from the, just the extra wrestling, the extra time, the extra commitment. And there's so many benefits to freestyle and Greco. It's just, I can't, I would strongly suggest every one of my wrestlers get involved in it.
And talk about Iowa Youth Wrestling. How, what makes it so good? What makes it the level of where it's at right now, and how far has it come?
I think it's always been good. We, since I was a kid, there was always good wrestling, in Iowa. It's obviously, if, you look ever since kind of the history of it, ever since before Gable, it's coming up. There's been unbelievable wrestling in Iowa. And I think just a lot of the coaches that have come out. Like I said, you look at my kids club program, I have basically, head assistant coach at, college for 18 years. And a guy who plays second in the nation at Iowa, coaching in my kids club. It's just, that is unbelievable coaching for anybody to get, let alone, just in our kids club. And as I was coming through, I was coached by Keith Morlam, who was assistant coach at Iowa at the time. I was coached by Brad Smith, my high school coach. I was coached by, a lot of the Iowa wrestlers, just kind of people. So just the coaching, I think, has really evolved the sport within the state, even within the nation. How many kids club programs have gotten so much better, and it's just because of the coaching, because of the time, because of the effort, and people putting more into it.
Yeah, and I can't. It's like when I talk. I've been speaking to some Pennsylvania high school coaches and stuff over there too, and the same thing. They say they walk into what makes PA so good. You walk into a room and there's national champions there, just walking around coaching. So, so you were a very good wrestler yourself. You won a state high school title over there in Iowa City, and you end up getting a scholarship to go to Iowa, and you end up at Iowa, but not sure what happened. You ended up transferring to Wartburg and doing your thing there. But talk about the process and the thought behind to transferring, and what do you tell kids today to be better prepared for when they get to college that maybe you weren't taught or others aren't taught?
I think everybody's different in that sense. I think, for me and my experience, coming out of high school, I wanted to go to Iowa, grew up in Iowa City, and that was just, that was my dream. And, I got to the University of Iowa, I wrestled, I redshirted my first year. I wrestled, a lot of varsity in my, redshirt freshman year. And then the next year I tore my ACL. And it was just in that kind of time where I tore my ACL, and I just kind of, the major that I wanted was not at Iowa. I could not become a PE teacher at Iowa. They didn't have that major. And I just, I guess I just kind of needed a boost. I thought it was best for me to go to Wartburg. I knew a lot of guys there. I, started talking to the coach and decided to make a transfer over there. And it was one of the best decisions for me. Just, within my life, I got a, degree that I love doing. I love teaching PE, and I wouldn't have been able to do that at Iowa. I got a chance to compete at one of the best, Division III colleges in the nation. And we're beating a lot of Division I teams when I was at Wartburg. And my junior year, we had 7 guys in the finals. It was just, we had a great team. I think around that time it had been hard for most D1 programs to beat our team. We were pretty stacked. We had JV guys who were beating national. We had 2 guys that should have been in the finals of nationals that year because they both beat the guy who got second. Just our team was loaded that year, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of. And it was just fun to go to Wartburg then.
Yeah, and obviously it worked for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good. So what do you think we're looking at here when the clubs open? What's going to be that new standard, or when we have camps again? I see some camps are going on already, but what do you think is going to be the new normal?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I think a lot of it hinges on finding a vaccine, finding a whatever to help prevent COVID. I think obviously the cases are going up, the death rates, hospitalizations looks like they're going down. I don't know. It's just your guess is as good as mine. I think hopefully we kind of get this thing figured out and get a vaccine, and we aren't dealing with this much longer. So
yeah, it'd be nice to get back into the rooms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that's kind of making me go crazy right now. I just want to get back in that room. I want to have fun. I want to wrestle. I want to be able to develop kids. And, that's the best part of coaching, is helping develop kids into better wrestlers, better people, and everything else. And just missing that right now, missing being able to get in the room. And like I said, I'm just wrestling with my 9-year-old son here at home. And that's not quite the same thing as getting, scrapping with some high school kids and some college kids when they come back and everything else. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
He doesn't give you that same power
not
move.
Not quite yet. No, not he's not quite. He thinks he is there sometimes. He thinks he beats me sometimes. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully we get back on the mat there and everything. What else is going on?
Not much. Like I said, I just got 2 kids here at home. Been spending a lot of time with them. I've been reading a lot this time of year. Just not being able to go out and do wrestling. I've been trying to read a lot of books and just seeing ways I can develop myself as a coach. help develop my wrestlers faster, help develop my students better, and find ways that, just watching videos, got some championship production videos, seeing if there's any little things I can pick up on. Today on BTN, there was wrestling all day. So I was watching, wrestling on there all day. I'm trying to keep a schedule as much as I can and find little ways, whether it's reading, watching wrestling videos. I went through all our matches from this last year to figure out, what we're doing well, what we need to change more, kind of doing some introspective work as much as I can, since I can't do as much with other people. I'm trying to do as much as I can with myself, and how can I make myself better, our coaching staff better, our wrestlers better. And so I guess just trying to do that as much as I can.
Yeah, I started this little show. It's kept me busy.
That's awesome, man. That's a great way to
doing these. So it's been fun. And I don't know if I can sustain 4 a day once people are back out in the public, but we'll still keep it going, and we'll get it there. But I got some more questions for you. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. The Children's Museum or the Capitol Museum?
Children's Museum. I haven't been to the Capitol Museum since I was a kid, I don't think so.
All right. So it seems like these are 2 big things in Iowa: breakfast pizza or taco pizza?
I don't think I'd turn down either. But if I think if you twist my arm, I'd probably say breakfast pizza.
Cool. The Antique Car Museum or the National History Museum?
I'm more of a history buff, I guess. So I'd probably go with the History Museum.
They both looked really cool. Famous desserts: scotcheroos or Dutch letters?
Definitely scotcheroos.
Nice. They look like butterscotch brownies. Is that what they are, basically?
It's like Rice Krispie treats, only you put it's chocolate on top. And I got a coworker that I work with that whenever it's I'm lucky enough, whenever it's my birthday or she has some leftovers or something, she kind of sends them my way. And I never turn down a scotcheroo. So
Nice. The Colonies or Pedestrian Mall?
I'm obviously down the Ped Mall a lot more than the Colonies, but there's some good places to eat down the Colonies too. So I go down the Ped Mall more though.
All right. The Tenderloin or the Iowa Chop?
Once again, I don't think I'd turn down either. There's some good places at good tenderloins here in Iowa City, and but I mean I love cooking my own Iowa chops, so and they're both very good.
Yeah, some good eating there. Carville Lake or Gaslight Village?
I don't think I've ever been to Gaslight Village. I've been to Corville Lake. We were just there a couple of weeks ago. We took out rented a boat, took it out, and love taking the kids down to the beach there and going to the dam and everything else. So definitely go out to the Corville Lake and dam and everything else a lot more.
Awesome. Made Right or Sloppy Joe?
Probably Made Right. I'd like, once again, I don't, not too picky on food, I guess. Most wrestlers, I don't think are turn down food too often after they've cut a lot of weight and stuff like that. So I won't turn down either.
That's awesome. Hickory Hill Park or Literary Walk?
I'm kind of right by Hickory Hill. So we, even the last month or so, we've gone out there several times, and I'll definitely like going out and walks out in Hickory Hill. So
that's awesome. Some cool places down there. Twin Bings or Blue Bunny ice cream?
Blue Bunny. Yeah. I mean, they're up in, I think the Storm Lake is where the company is. And I've been up there a couple times and had to get their ice cream, from the actual company, and got it a couple other times. So I'd probably say that.
Are the Twin Bings any good?
I guess I don't really know what that is.
Oh, it said it's an Iowa dessert. It's like comes in like a bag, and it's like brown, and it's got like cherry inside it or something. I don't know. I just looked it up, an Iowa delicacy, and it came up. So
I don't think I know what that is. I mean,
well,
but
I'd probably go Blue Bunny ice cream too after seeing what it looked like, because it didn't look appetizing, but it was in the
Very good.
top 10 things you have to try in Iowa. So I threw it on the list. It's pretty cool, man. I just do those 10 questions, have some fun with them, get to know the area you're in. It helps me too. I kind of research some stuff and it was fun. Well, hey man, I really appreciate you talking to me and coming on and talking about your program and man, I sure hope that you get the club doors open again soon and get those kids rolling. And if there's anybody you'd like to invite on the show, please feel free to do that.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And yeah, let me know if I can help you out anyway.
All right, buddy. You take care.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.